Welcome back to WorkTech. I'm George LaRocque, and I'm excited to share some more industry funding news with everyone. You might have noticed, but maybe not, that GoodTime has announced an additional Series A funding of $9.5 million. And I've got the founder and CEO of GoodTime, Ahryun Moon, with me today, and I'm excited to learn more about GoodTime and the deal. Ahryun, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. We raised 9.5 million in additional Series A late last year, actually, November last year. And we just actually came out with the press release. But yeah, it's been a few months and it's been really exciting with three new investors, and also most of our existing investors followed on. So that really helped us grow our team and so on. So yeah, I'm Ariane, one of the co-founders of GoodTime. Really, GoodTime, what it does is it transforms your interview process. So, well, first of all, we completely remove the hassle of email back and forth. So your candidates get almost like consumer-like experience when they schedule an interview. And also, secondly, our technology tracks interviewer database. So you can actually store your interviewer's relevant attributes within GoodTime, and based on those attributes, we can schedule the right interviewers for a given candidate. Um, and along with that, we automate interviewer training sessions so you can really equip your interviewers with proper training. And also, we help you transform the really entire hiring process with data and insights that you wouldn't get from your ATS.
We see a lot of interview scheduling automation that's just basically matching of diaries and, fitting candidates into slots and so forth. But you just mentioned finding the right interviewer, and that's something when I think of GoodTime that's really interesting to me. Some of the attributes and conditional workflows and things that you can build into the process. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I think everyone watching this would find that interesting too.
Definitely, yeah. So yeah, really when companies think of scaling the hiring process, a lot of companies kind of immediately their head goes to the top of the funnel and fixing, and filling candidates at the top of the funnel. But really, I think the real magic happens when those kind of human connections happen in the interview process, when candidates meet with interviewers and they really hit it off, have amazing conversations and so on. That really transforms the candidate experience. But and on the flip side, that means that's where things usually start breaking down, especially when you're scaling hiring.
Mhm.
So, say your interview process is not structured, or your candidate experience kind of tanks as you scale hiring, or actually some of our customers said, hey, I'm trying to hire more female engineers, and they all turned down my offers, and I have no idea why. It turned out that those female candidates, when they come in, they will meet with 10 male engineers. And it just really turns off the female engineers. They just don't see themselves working in that kind of environment. So those are the problems that actually happen within the interview process. And GoodTime is, it's a purpose built solution to fix those problems. So we definitely track data like training status of interviewers, their DE&I status, skill set, past experience, and so on. Really depends on what our customers want to kind of focus on in terms of matching the right interviewers to a candidate. We track those information, and based on those information, we match the right interviewers to a given candidate. So that really definitely kind of helps GoodTime set apart from other competitors.
Yeah, I love that. I love the impact you can have. I know it's more than on diversity, but on diversity specifically, I've been talking to a lot of folks lately who are focused or have been focused on expanding, the funnel the net that they're casting to bring in more diverse candidates, but then they're not seeing the hires and the progress of those diverse candidates through the funnel, the hiring funnel. And this seems like, an obvious way to help that along. So that's exciting. It's really interesting.
Absolutely, yeah. There definitely DNI is top of mind for like every amazing company out there.
Mhm.
But I think kind of frankly speaking, it's kind of hard to find companies that have really meaningfully moved the needle on the metrics in terms of the number of hires that they make from diverse group. I think filling the top of the funnel, I think that's definitely number one.
Mhm.
Definitely one of the most important aspects. But usually those candidates uh, don't necessarily get the either fair chance through the interview process, or at the end they decline the offer because they just don't see themselves working there. So those are the problems that happen within interview process, and good time is really.
Yeah, that's great. So, coming back to the deal, what, from a market perspective and or a business perspective, what timing wise, what was happening that brought you to go out and raise this funding now?
Definitely. So we actually started raising in May 2020, and we inked the contract in November 2020.
Right.
But really hard back then because COVID was in full force, no vaccine in sight. All the investors were like pretty uneasy about what's actually happening. And as you probably really well know, investors, whenever there's so much volatility, the investments in kind of freezes up. So we were seeing that in 2020. So it was really challenging, but now in 2020, actually we're seeing completely the opposite. Valuation is through the roof.
Right.
There's like so many investment deals that are happening. Even anecdotally, one of the investors that I know is, I think, sending out one term sheet per day.
Mhm.
It's pretty crazy now. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I should have waited this year. But at the same time, I think it was really amazing that we were able to raise in such challenging time, and that really allowed us to invest in our people, and we were able to grow our team from 40 to 60 people, and really reinvest that money back into our products and more innovation. Now the hiring scene is changing so rapidly with this new kind of future of work, I know remote and hybrid type of work. So we want to make sure that our products can actually help along the journey. So I think the investment actually went to being able to bring additional innovation that's necessary on our product. So it all worked out, but definitely I was thinking, maybe I should have waited until.
Um, well, so talk a little bit more about how you're using the investment and what you mentioned, innovation in the product and taking care of your employees. What can customers expect now? Especially, a lot of times I'm talking to folks right when they've announced, and so there isn't a lot of detail, but this is a few months later, so I'm curious, what can customers expect? What can the market expect to see in the product now?
Oh yeah, definitely. So customers have definitely seen more innovation, and they will continue to see a lot more innovations. And the innovations are really things that are really timely and necessary for this new era that we are living in. Hybrid or mode of working, hybrid recruiting, and so on. So specifically, we actually have some really interesting product updates that are coming out. One specific about interviewer training. First of all, we have some really major update coming out within a few weeks, so please stay tuned.
Okay.
And then second of all, our additional innovation to help with multi-day scheduling as well as remote and hybrid mode of interviewing. So we're actually bringing a lot more innovation there. It's just in such high demand. All of our customers are actually really completely transforming the way they interview. So we're actually fitting our product into this new mode. And lastly, insights. All of our customers are looking for a lot more insights on the interview process itself, but the ATSs are actually not giving enough of detailed information specifically about interviews. So we're actually bringing more insights. And actually, additionally, our product is much more secure and stable. We recently just got SOC 2 Type 2 SOC 3, ISA E3000 certifications. So we take security extremely seriously. So those have been some really amazing updates and more coming.
That's great. That's great. I think you and I have spoken before, and I think the interview scheduling area is underestimated in its complexity by a lot of folks. And I don't think anyone who's tried to automate it does not underestimate it. So, a lot of your customers probably come to you knowing there's a degree of complexity, and that's the bar that you need to get over. But those it was complex before we started introducing these changes that you're talking about now. So it just really drives the need for more agility and flexibility. Environments that had no on-site, off-site, multi-day, scheduling going on are now having to embrace that because it's the reality of work. So it's interesting to hear you say all of that. How will this impact from, you mentioned taking care of your employees. I always like to ask about employees. Have you been hiring? Has the team grown, or yeah?
Definitely, yeah. So we grew from 40 to 60. We'll probably grow by additional 20 or so. So we'll be about 80 people strong by the end of this year, which had always been really exciting. And now, we are kind of adapting to this new world too. So instead of just hiring in specific geographic area, now we are hiring across the board throughout the entire United States. We hire some really amazing people from Canada, Brazil, and we're also looking in other areas of the world also. So definitely we are seeing heavy growth there, and it's really amazing to see our employees being able to work with more amazing team members. And also we're trying to provide a lot more growth opportunities to our employees, and also just make everything better, and just make their lives easier. It's COVID, and being stuck at home itself is really stressful. So we're trying to take care of each other.
That's great. That's great. And so you mentioned a lot of product updates. Any news for GoodTime? What's next for GoodTime?
Definitely, yeah. So really what makes me really excited is our product. So we are really excited to bring additional innovation. We definitely keep our ears on the ground and really try to work with our customers as we figure out the best practices in this new world. So bringing those innovations to our customers will be really exciting. Again, like interview training, additional insights, as well as new innovation around remote and hybrid hiring. So those will be super exciting. Please stay tuned. And really, we would love to lead the transformation of this new hybrid hiring and also crafting of new candidate journey. Because now we have to kind of rethink the candidate experience. So bringing more innovation there is really exciting, and that's what's next for GoodTime. So please stay tuned. There are some really exciting things coming up from GoodTime.
All right. And where should folks follow GoodTime?
Yeah, on our LinkedIn. And also we actually have a very special community that has been built for the last 3 years on Slack. We now have almost close to 2,000 members on it. It's such a thriving community. They all share advice and feedback on it, different products. Sometimes we see GoodTime feedback on it, and so on. It's really exciting community. So if you come to our website, there's actually a place where you can sign up for the community.
Great. Well, Ahryun, I really appreciate your time and bringing the news to the WorkTech audience. I know you're very busy. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun. Thank you, George.
Thanks.